Hi guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to transfer a SketchUp file to an XYZ printer. So first, what we got to do is we obviously got to make it. So to save time, I made this awesome ninja star. And this is what it looks like 3D printed. So first, we got to make this a component. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click, and in this case I already made it a component, so all I'm going to do is click close component. The next thing I got to do is I got to go up here and I got to save it. In this case I saved it as a ninja throwing star. After that I got to click this folder. As you see, there's all kinds of stuff that I can use in here. To export it, I need to click the export link, and to 3D print it I have all these different things, but what I specifically need for my 3D printer is an STL format. So I'm going to click on that. And as you can see, it's right down here. So what I'm going to do, and this is something I typically like doing, is I click the arrow and I show in folder. So let's minimize SketchUp. So as you can see, it's in there. One thing that I typically do is, to make it easier to find my projects, I put it on my desktop. So that's something I'm going to do now. The next thing I need to do is plug in my 3D printer and turn it on. In this case, I already done that. So what I'm going to do then is open up my software with my Ninja Throwing Star. There we go. Alright. So as you can see, it's still detecting my printer, so I gotta give it a second to make sure it's registering with my software. And as you can see, it's registered. So sometimes, specifically with SketchUp, your model doesn't exactly register with the software. So to do this, XYZ Print will offer you a way to auto repair it. So in this case, I'm gonna click yes. And I made the mistake of making this too large on SketchUp, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click yes, auto resize, and as you can see, our Ninja Throwing Star is right here. So first, what we have to do is we have to calibrate it and heat our extruder up. The nice thing about XYZ Print is they do all that stuff for you. All you have to do is press the button and it does it. So that's nice. So for heating my extruder up, what I typically do is I click the extruder link right here. Then I click clean nozzle, and then it cleans the nozzle for me. And then for calibrating, what I typically do is I click my calibrate button, and then it automatically calibrates it for me. So that's awesome. So another important thing while 3D printing is you gotta make sure you have enough filament. So what I do typically is I press the filament button. And as you can see, I can load my filament, unload my filament. I have some info about it. So now that we went over that, another thing I also want to go over is supports. For this particular project, we won't need supports. But if you need supports, all you need to do is just click enable supports and you can do all this. What I typically do is I stay at a 45-degree angle because that's what people recommend. Unless if it's more of a custom project. If it's more of a custom project, you want to do more math and stuff on it, but for most projects, if you need supports, 45 is the right number. And then we also have enable raft. That's another type of support. I typically don't use it, and I don't really need it for this project, so we're not going to use it today. And then we also have how fast I can make my speed on my extruder, my infill density, and all this other useful stuff. Like I said, for basic projects like this, we don't really need to mess with this, so time to get out of that. Another thing that we can do is, say if we don't like how big this is, we can make it smaller or as big as we want. That's up to you and how you want to do your project. Another thing you can do is you can change where it's laying. So this is one way of doing it, and it's really cool. I typically don't use it because my printer typically doesn't do stuff like that. Another thing is, say if your printer registers it like this. Snap landing is really useful for putting it flat, because if I were to have it like this, my printer couldn't make it. So it's very important to use snap landing to make sure that it's registering. Then I click apply and leave, and it stays like that. So the next thing I need to do to print it is I need to click prepare. So this software slices it, and it shows you what it's going to look like on the computer. So in this case, this is what it's going to look like once it's done. And this helps splicing helps send the printer and tells it what to do. And as you can see, it looks like this. And then finally, I click print. Now, one thing that I primarily want to show you on this is it depends on how long it's going to take. So if I scale it bigger, the time's going to take longer. If I scale it smaller, the time's going to be shorter. So right now, our estimated print time is 30 minutes. And then we also see right here about how much filament we used. So if I were to print this right now, we would be using about 1.650 meters of filament. Once again, my name is Caleb Theobald, and I have showed you how to 3D print something. Thank you.